Hey everybody, great to have you back here in the fish tank. Today we're going to be talking about balance for Minion Masters. So we got a patch coming sort of early-ish February, and we have a PTR this weekend, theoretical only PTR with the proposed balance changes. So we're going to look at those and see what we think of them. So, as always, or as we generally have, we're going to have two new cards. We can see up here the Stormstead is featured. So, Stormstead's going to be a 4 mana, 400 health, 30 damage every 1.5 seconds, 20 DPS, speed of 5, which is pretty normal. So, that's going to be fairly standard minion, apart from the fact that it has a charge. So, it's not going to be like the Fanreal charge, where it can go through everything. But it will have a charge, so if it moves for 2 seconds, then it will start charging. And once it charges, the next thing it attacks will deal extra damage and do a knockback. So the charging speed will be 12 compared to its regular speed of 5, and its charging damage will be 100 compared to its regular damage of 30. So it's kind of like a Fanreal from Wish. And then the second new card is the Resonant Construct. So this is, if you've seen the picture I think that was in the news, it looks like a crystal construct with a resonating crystal on the back. Resonating blast crystal. So it's going to be 3 mana, but also have 3 mana freeze. So that's 6 mana in total. Has the same stats as a crystal construct, but I don't think it has the 1 mana back on death. And its attack also has a small AoE radius. 1.5, maybe that's the same as a Siege Break, I'm not sure. But AoE, but very small. And on death, it will drop the Resonating Blast Crystal from on its back. And if 2 Blast Crystals exist at the same time, they both explode for 100 damage. So let's just imagine you're just playing this in a deck. The first time you play it, it'll do its business. When it dies, it'll drop its blast crystal. The next time you play one, when it dies, its blast crystal on its back will explode, plus the other blast crystal, wherever that is, that the original one dropped. You can also trigger the blast crystal with the Resonating Blast Crystal card, so some potential synergy between those two new cards. Or that new card and the existing card. Okay, so this is the Stormsteed and the Resonant Construct. Get my teeth in. And then next up we have the buffs, the nerfs, and the rebalances to the existing cards and masters. So, buff for Milloween also gains a spark when teammate casts a spell. So this is a buff for 2v2s. Remember, the sparks power up her auto attack, and then when you spawn your Arcane Golem, the Arcane Golem consumes the sparks and gains levels based on them. Once Bidden. So, Once Bidden originally gave you 1 werewolf, then it gave you 2. Now we're back to 1. It did gain rage. The proposed change here is Berserker Rage. Just to reiterate, these are proposed changes. So the idea is, and I'll put a link in the description so you can see the feedback form. The idea is, we have a look at these. Unfortunately, it's only a theoretical PTR this time, not one that we can get our hands on. And then we give our feedback based on what do we think about the changes. Now, a Berserker Raged werewolf seems kind of terrifying. But Once Bidden definitely dropped off. Once it went back to only giving you 1 werewolf, its play rate just died completely. So this might be something that it needs. Wolf Among Sheep, similar treatment. The werewolf, which is the, remember you get 3, is it 3 or is it 4? I think it's 3 legionnaires, plus one of them with lycanthropy that turns into a werewolf. The change here is the werewolf will have rage. Mountain Shaper kind of got destroyed when they changed it. They're buffing it back to see if it gets play. Damage up to 80. Remember, that's damage per charge. 10 charges maximum. So a lot of damage there, but I've very, very rarely seen anybody use it. Right, Ghast. Remember, Ghast will summon a skeleton if something around it dies. And it's not on a cooldown. And that range is going up from 6 to 12. Ghast needs something. Is this it? I don't know. But it will definitely help him. Arcane Barrage. This is an interesting one. So Arcane Barrage was a card that was really, really strong in super cheap decks. Because it gets stronger each time you play it, it was kind of like the Demon Warrior of spells. But they're changing it, so that may not be the case anymore. Or the proposed change anyway. So starts at 2 stacks, so weaker to start with, but it gains 2 stacks per play. So previously it started at 3 and added 1 per play. So now it's going to start at 2. It does 50 damage per stack, remember. And then it gets extra 2 per play. So weaker to start with, same after 2 stacks, and then stronger going forward. Be too strong. I feel like that might be too strong, to be honest. It's strong anyway, and you're going to get easily up to the maximum stacks compared to how it was before. Right, Nether Step. Swarmers gain Rush. So this is Nether Step. When you Nether Step a unit, you gain Swarmers based on the number of Voidborn cards in your hand, I think. Rush means that they don't have any Summoning Sickness. Spell Dancer gets an extra Arcane Spark. Not sure if that's going to make much difference. Nirvir was originally 10, then went down to 9, and now proposed to go down to 8 mana. So this is the Nirvir card, Nirvir the Fallen, not the perk 3 from Morelia. Frostbearer damage going up from 50 to 60. So this feels like they're thinking Frostbearer needs a bit of love, but they can't really change the frozen part of it because, I mean, that the frozen is the same for all of the different frozen units or spells, etc. So here they're giving it a bit more damage. Not the nicest of changes. Dragon Whelp, attack cooldown going down, so that means attack speed going up, so DPS increased. Same with the Clip Dragon Whelp, which is the flightless Dragon Whelp, so that's going to affect all of the Dragon Whelps, regardless of where you get them from. Might affect the Shadow Whelp as well. They normally share the same stats, but not sure. Right. Nerfs. Zeppelin Bomber. Seen a lot of Zeppelin Bomber in solos this season, or maybe in all modes as well. Attack cooldown going up, so it's going to drop bombs less often. So not be quite as powerful as before. Tranquil She-How, so that's the healing monkey, the self-healing monkey. Damage going down from 60 to 50. Always sad to see that, one of my favourite cards. But you can get a lot of value out of it, so maybe some less damage is fair. Scrap Pack. Right, Scrap Pack. So I've got, just a reminder, hit that subscribe button because I've got my meta video coming up soon for this month. We're going to see how Tronvir has changed things. But Scrap Pack has been, and may still be, one of the highest played cards in the game. So getting a nerf here is probably fair. I don't think it's going to change too much though, because you still get a decent number of bodies. You still get multiple bodies, so you can take both bridges with them. So less value, but probably not too much going to be changed there. Spear Throwers. So the attack cooldown goes from 1.5 to 1.7, so DPS goes down. This probably affects Tantrum Throwers as well, I would assume, since they're basically the same unit apart from the first throw. Sometimes they even have a first throw. Impetus Blast, damage going down from 25 to 15. Not sure that's necessarily needed. A little bit of a nerf there. Now this is something that I think has been a long time coming. Growth Burst Shroom. The damage buff is going down from 25 to 20% and the health from 25 to 20%. I think that's a good change. It's so easy to get huge value from that on a blue golem, red golem, Yahoon, anything like that. And that's been very strong for a long time. And it's so easy to get, right? You just run your Bounce Free Flingers, spawn on them, go. And then we have some changes to Tronvir, which if you watched my... This is the same day. I'm not sure when this is going to go out. But if you watch my hotfix number 3 video, these changes should be in the hotfix number 3. So there's going to be some balance changes and some bug fixes. The bug fixes are going to be the not being able to throw the stone onto the other side sometimes, and the stone sometimes missing taunt and damage. So those are the bug fixes, and then these are the balance changes. So Ancestor HP going down from 150 to 100. Ancestor damage going down from 50 to 45. So they're like the spirited Scotties that you see. Perk 2. So this is the Perk 2 buff is the ground minion that you spawn next. So the Frost Rune buff, the shield is going down from 300 to 200 max. And the damage from the Wind Rune buff is get down from 100 to 50. Right, so those are the proposed changes. As I said, I'll put a link in the description so you can check them out for yourself and hopefully fill out the feedback. Let the devs know, what do you think about the changes? Which ones do you like? Which ones do you don't like? There's also going to be, as always, a section on there as another balance change, something that hasn't been spoke about in these different options. And of course, based on this feedback, then we'll have some final balance changes. So yeah, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Stuff you like, stuff you don't like, stuff you want changed, stuff you don't want changed. And as always, I appreciate you watching these videos. Really does help. And if you like, comment and subscribe, that's awesome. Anyway, as always, I'm Bad as Fish, and I am awkwardly waving. Go buy a plushie.